Do you remember when we used to fantasize about the lady recording voice thingy?
I do. My lady changed when I got a new laptop, and I was really upset about it. That's what I remember.
You're a lady now, man.
No, just a different lady.
Oh.
That was
So what
nice.
you're telling me is mine has probably now got the sack
Yeah.
and you got the new one.
Well,
Mine's a newer phone. So do they do different ones because it's a laptop?
but then my old laptop had the one that you have. Unless we never had it the same one at all, we wouldn't even know because we've never heard it. We've never heard the other person's. Maybe we've been talking about different women this entire time.
You've just blown my mind.
I've just had this realization as we talk about this, and I'm, yeah,
Anyway, we've come to that first um, realization. Lots happened in the last couple of weeks since we last recorded.
yes, logos and finals and
Coldplay's here. Trump's a president.
oh yeah, just world as a whole.
Yeah,
My
like
brain was almost
we've had a
entirely
couple of
footy.
weeks off.
My brain was almost entirely footy, but yeah, that I forgot that also happened.
We're not gonna get all
Political.
that, but I'm just saying lots happened.
Yeah, no, I
I
got
changed rooms is where I was going to. I just wanted you to lead me in, but you just couldn't be there. My position in my room has changed. There's no more Rocky poster yet. That will change, but you just follow the fucking map, Jared.
I'm sorry, okay. My brain was still rattled by the fact that the Zoom lady, we may be talking about different ladies this entire time. We wouldn't have even known.
I've no further comment.
What we can do is instead of smashing the glass, how about we just open it nice and softly?
It's unfair that you have one and I don't. Did you open it softly or what?
Good. Yeah, I opened it.
Oh, I didn't hear.
Oh, that was what the I'm catching up because you had your pirate life at the footy.
That's a play of the game. That is the play of the game. The impossible angle. And he puts it through. And Portland. Danger, 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 danger. Butler. Butler, Butler, Butler. Get around him. Get around him. Edge of the seat.
Welcome back to another edition of the Glass Table, everyone. Jared is with his beer. Life is good. This is episode 69. A lot of things just don't make sense, and a lot of things have just been said. But now I realize that episode number is a thing. Kind of really don't want to say much.
Yeah, I have also just had that
We know.
too.
We know.
So yeah, maybe we wait till later to just
I'm not gonna.
we won't
Yeah.
play this into that bit. We'll do it a little bit later, maybe. Bump it down the order a little bit.
I reckon I can do it.
Okay, here we go.
All right. So, as I mentioned before, lots of things have changed and lots of things have happened. And irrelevancy of episode 69, we're doing an episode of 69 because we get 70, which will be our final episode of the year. So, ending it on a whole decent fucking number.
Yep.
But that's a strong finish. Bang, 70, beautiful. But probably when we come back in 2025, things will be a little bit different. And I say this because if you're currently sitting at home or on your tablet in the couch or back of mum's car and watching YouTube and you're under the age of 16, you possibly may never see us for a couple of years, which is quite disheartening. Now, we don't normally talk politics. Mentioning Trump just before was probably the first time we've actually done anything close. But I want to be on the front foot of this because as a content creator, as a person in the field yourself as well, us doing this podcast, we know many people that do their own, content creation. They work for content. They do everything to create an audience and a community. On the forefront of that is always, what is content we can create for people to enjoy, make everyone feel included for all ages. When I sit here and I'm told that they are passing a law where under the age of 16 you cannot access social media effectively, is really disheartening for the community. And I don't just talk about the AFL community. There's sports all around that will be affected, and communities that are content creation outside of sport as well, around the world.
100%.
When you are in a country like Australia, which has been something that has been like, there's no restriction based on this. We know our boundaries when it comes to content and everything. To restrict people that are under the age of 16, who we see some have, and it's a subject that goes so much deeper than I think they even realize. Like, content that you see on YouTube, well, TikTok can be a disarray, but you learn stuff from YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube should not be a part of this law, because schools use YouTube. Content creation is made for YouTube. We all are entertaining. We want to entertain. And when I sit here and I get told that, unfortunately, people under the age of 16 will not be able to access it, it's one thing they won't be allowed to access. It's another to find access. But it's plain outright shit. Like, majority of everyone's audiences will come from 16 and under. And it's because they are finding an outlet of entertainment outside of their learnings. School, sport, everything. I don't understand. Is this just an abuse of power? Maybe. When you're a content creator, like myself and you and everyone else in the field, it's really disheartening to see that our blocks of work that will go out will not be able to be fully appreciated by the many of ages around the country because of this, because of a minority, I think. And it sucks. That's the stance I'm taking. And I hope they find a way to create a platform where everyone can have a fair shout at content.
I have a few sort of thoughts on this. One of my things is I feel like they're going to end up reversing it. I feel like it's not going to end up happening because of the backlash that's happening to it. Firstly, in a world now where attention spans and everything like that are getting shorter and shorter as a whole, kids and teens nowadays, TikTok is like, everyone talks about the attention span of TikTok. Like, you just, if it's not in 30 seconds, you don't want to watch it, kind of thing. By limiting YouTube, I don't know what they expect to think. Like, people want to know things. People want to learn things and learn different things. That kids aren't going to sit in front of a TV for an hour and watch the news. They're not going to want to sit and do all these things because of that. Like, YouTube is a way to narrow things down, to make things easier to understand and to learn. Like you said, people learn off YouTube. And everyone that I know has watched YouTube growing up and everything like that. And this brings me to my next point in kind of bringing it back into sort of the footy media kind of thing, and I suppose any sports media situation. I'm gonna give a shout out to them because you went on their podcast recently, the Footy Forecast. I know they said to you when they brought you in, they said, like, you were one of the OGs of YouTube, like they watched you growing up and kind of thing. Kids these days aren't gonna have that. You think about growing up, people had the likes of you, they had the likes of, Caden McDonald, they had all these kinds of people being able to grow up, and it made them, the people that are doing it now, like yourself, like, like the Marmalade boys, like the Caden, like those kind of, everybody, they watched content creators when they were younger and then wanted to do it and create more content kind of thing. By limiting the age, you then limit the people that can view it, you then limit dreams, you limit what people want to do. By the time they hit 16, that's the age that people can drop out of school, for one. So it's like half the kids might just be like, yeah, I don't care at all. This is my job for the rest of my life kind of thing. Or they'll have completely different things. You're cutting out a whole generation of, you're cutting out a whole age group of people that want to then grow up to be content creators. You're cutting the supply ridiculously, because I know growing up when I was 7, not 7, but like, growing up, being able to just jump on YouTube and just be like Nathan Buckley highlights, like fucking fantastic. Like, and like I would just sit and watch, and like, it's not like, obviously there's different things you can use to get highlights and stuff like that, but YouTube is far and wide the easiest. So it's not just like oh, we're trying to limit kids from seeing things they shouldn't be seeing, you're also cutting off access to a lot of historical things, a lot of content like yourself, and a lot of people that aren't going to have the opportunity to grow into what the content creators are now, kind of thing. And like we said with the footy forecast boys, there won't be those people. You can be like, oh, I remember the OG YouTube, like footy YouTube people, because there won't be any. Like it's annoying. Like it's very annoying because, like you said, it's a minority. It's a very small number of people that abuse it for the wrong reasons, but a lot of people watch YouTube for the good reasons, and that's highlights and analysis. Watching ThePear after the Port girls get a win in the finals, which we'll obviously talk about in a second. But it's these little things that the kids aren't going to get the access to, which sucks.
Agree. And we talk about different content creators and the different avenues you can find it and the different methods that people use. Like I'll use the Marmalade Boys, for example, anything and anything is content as well. The amount of times I'll go on Instagram and I'll see a post from an event they did and there's hundreds of kids
everywhere, exactly,
photos.
Yeah,
people, they do events, they did this, they did that. You know how many times have I gone to a Port game and like a little 11, 12-year-old comes up to me and goes, like, Anthony, I love your stuff. Like that's
you're the
yeah, you're the pair. Oh my God. Like it's not a satisfactory thing to be recognized. It's a satisfactory thing to say you've had an influence on a kid's life where he has an outlet to sit there and be able to take in content that he loves and he enjoys.
And doesn't have to sit through a bunch of random shit on the news that would probably end up being worse anyway. Because you watch the news these days and it's like, yeah, this person's rental, like, the rental prices have gone up for another 14%. And it's like, yeah, that's great for a 9-year-old kid to know. Really cool. Like they don't give a shit.
I can't wait for 9-year-old Larry to be sitting there with his parents watching a current affair to know the difference between Coles, Woolworths, and Aldi again for the 5th time in 1 week.
And fucking seeing the landlord from hell that has been shown the last 6 times over the last 9 months. Gonna be really good. Gonna have a lot of real estate brokers growing up, guys. Bye-bye footy content creators. Hello, fucking real estate moguls.
My new content is going to be the house. Like I'm just going to develop a whole bunch of shit about. You do realize if you put your driveway here, you can make a more benefit profit from here. And if you have 3 driveways, you have more room for activities. You want to buy a caravan, you can put one there. You want to put a trailer, you can put one there. You want to start selling your own donuts? Truck there. Like, honestly, it's amazing.
I can't wait for the new channel, just the house. Subscribe to the house.
Pretty sure that's going to be copyrighted.
It's got to be somewhere.
The house.
The house.
Coming to cinemas near you. Anyway, that's our rant on that because I felt like it needs to be a topic touched on by anyone that's in the field.
Anyway.
So what goes from here, who knows? But for now, yep. To any parents watching,
yeah,
probably shouldn't watch from now on.
Now's where it gets interesting. Good luck.
Well, tell your kids not to watch from now on.
I feel like me just drinking the beer in the first place probably.
Well, you're influencing beer. You also say fuck about 52 times. I think your mum's pulled you up on that too every time she watches.
Yeah, absolutely she has. Whoops.
Fuckity fuck, I guess, eh? Don't say that one in school, kids.
No, leave that one away.
Anywho, we're a footy podcast.
We are. Let's do footy things.
You mentioned something in there just before that really enlightened me.
Mm-hmm.
So the AFLW finals are on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can talk about North's great win over the Crows in a classic. And in that game as well, it's great to see that the umpires are having an influence again. You can talk about Freo continuing Essendon's finals lost days count in the AFLW form.
Yep.
We can talk about the Lions Hawks Classic, which I saw none of, but they were fighting after the sirens. I was enthralled. And you can talk about the most fun AFLW team in the league in this final series, and that's Port Adelaide. They topped a Richmond side by 24 points. They were challenged. I think it was halfway through the third quarter. Actually, Richmond were up by a point. And Port were like, no, we're not giving up.
Absolutely not.
Gemma Houghton put on a show. Julia Teakle, Ash Saint. These players, Matilda Scholes, footy's fun at Alberton. Let me tell you.
The number one thing and the one thing that you said throughout the game today that you were messaging was you were like, I'm having fun. You're like, this is a fun time.
I was
This
having fun.
this is an enjoyable experience being at Alberton in the sun. Obviously, like, and this is what I said. I think I said it in episodes like a few episodes ago now, that putting AFLW in like a smaller environment, like I said, how great the AFLW is in Moorabbin. Putting the AFLW in that smaller environment where the crowd packs out the whole thing, like you said, that it was 5K strong there at Alberton. When it's like that at Moorabbin, it's the atmosphere is so fun. They make it a really good day. You get to enjoy it. The day was beautiful. You definitely got a tan. Like you just have a lot of fun, and it means that you get to enjoy a very good game of footy as well, where Port kick 11 snags and make their way to another final, which is fantastic.
Really diving into my shower thoughts. I think I've said that a few too many times to you over the years, but which I'll get to in a second. But you're right, which sets up a semi-final against the Hawks, which is very funny. So we've seen this story before, you know. Opposite things.
Yes. So in the first time it was obviously you guys in the qualifying and playing the upcoming Hawks in the semi and then taking them down. And now this time it's the other way around. It's the upcoming Power against the Hawks were second and had a loss to the Lions today. And now they're making their way down.
That $1 million really worked, didn't it?
I feel like they wouldn't have invested it just quite.
Possibly, but it's funny to say.
But no, it'll be very interesting. Sets up, Port and Hawks. I think I said towards like the back end of the season, I was like, Port Hawks have put together a little bit of a rivalry now. It's one of those things where they get to play the next time, and you're like, oh, here we go. And now we get to see it already. It doesn't even have to wait for the men's season in 2025. We get to see it finals, AFLW, fucking right in front of us.
AFLW, and we've touched on it a few times this year, and the finals prove it. Like each game, besides Port Richmond, each game was within 10 points. It's pretty cool. Like I know you sit there and go, oh, but the scores are like 38-31, blah, blah, blah. That makes it so much more unpredictable because someone could actually have a run that's so clean and it catches you off guard, and that's the winning run.
3-goal run is a winner. Like a 3-goal run is a winning score, and it's like I always have this argument is that like the same guys that say like I can't believe it's only 38-31 will go to a local game where it's fucking 20-14 and they're like, what a fucking outing, and I'm like, yeah, right, champion, no worries. Like that sounds good. Like it's not all about the scores. The fact that they're close games, the fact they're good games are always good. And the first two games as well, like especially that Free Western one, Gabby O'Sullivan kicked the goal with 3 minutes, a great goal, dance around defenders, kicked it from about 45. Those kinds of goals in scores like that, those kinds of goals are real killers because you can see a goal like that and you deflate because you're like, fuck, that's like 10 points now and we're cooked. Like that's a goal that's hard to get past. And it means that all the games are very, very good and very interesting. And you get to see, scores and really good games that we get.
That's the thing. Like, as you said, each game had its own story.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They want to talk about stories in the AFLW and they want to, get this off. I keep getting it off the ground. It's finals. We're in the middle of November. There was 5,000 people at Alberton today.
Beautiful.
Perfect Sunday conditions. Do you want to know something very interesting? And I thought about this today. Exactly 10 years ago on a Sunday afternoon, not the exact date, but 10 years ago on a Sunday afternoon, Port Adelaide played Richmond at the Adelaide Oval in an elimination final, rang the prison bars, and won. First ever final at the Adelaide Oval in the AFL. They won. 10 years later, the girls are playing an elimination final on a Sunday arvo at Alberton Oval for the first time ever at Alberton, and they won. Something in that.
A little bit in that. Just a little bit. I don't mind it.
Just enough for me to ride that one home.
And say thank you very much. See you next week, Hawthorn.
Thank you for the content.
I love it. I love the crowd that got there. You said the 5,000 in Alberton today. Freo had an attendance record at their ground. They had 3,500 there as well. They broke their attendance record. People care. People want to go and see this game. People want to go and watch these girls play. especially when it's, obviously the top 8 teams in the comp, and you're proving that. You can see it in the games. No one, like North won every game this year, but no one is like their runaway favorites. They are favorites to win it all, sure, but no one is like they're the only team that's going to win it. Any of these teams could win it. Any of these teams on their day could beat any of the other teams. I know, like Richmond were favorites going into the game against Port today. I tipped Port, so suck on that, everyone. But, everyone, like, you never know what's going to happen, and it just depends on who comes out to play on the day. Adelaide, as we know, have been good forever. So have Brisbane. Those two teams, they're always going to be a sniff. They're both, Brisbane's in a prelim. Adelaide's obviously playing Freo next week. Like, it's going to be very good. It's going to be very interesting. And I'm excited for the next couple of weeks.
It leads perfectly into my shower thoughts. So
Let's
should we
start.
do it?
Yeah, let's just do it.
There's an intro there somewhere. So, my shower thoughts, and I'm going to kick us off because it's on topic.
Yes.
Obviously, we talk about crowd attendances, AFLW and everything, and local footy, and I was having fun. There should be a round in the AFL where we play simultaneously all at once, like we did back in the old days, at 2:10 p.m. on a Saturday. You can split it over Saturday, Sunday. We all play at local grounds like they do for pre-season.
It would be insane, wouldn't it?
You can do your pop-up stands. You can do this. You can fit 10 to 15,000 people. I genuinely think you want to put some money back into grassroots and local footy. What I witnessed today at Alberton was generally just so much fun. There was a whole kids zone where you could do kids activities. I think there was some kids over there that didn't even see the game. Little pop-up bars and stuff like that. The core diehards were, in the seated stands. Had fun, Jared.
Fun day.
I know logistically, the possibilities are restricted. I know financially, the AFL are like, oh, well, there's 9 games, we're all getting 10,000 people. What's the point? But if they pull their heads out of their ass and stop thinking about money, and you have a round where it's like gather round, but locally, or you just do one pre-season thing and actually play it as you could do like a pre-season cup. It's all local.
I'd like that. Just like that used to have it. And I love the idea of, and like that's what I'm saying as well. With the preseason games, the Saints obviously play theirs at Moorabbin. It's fun, and there are people everywhere all the time. Parking is a fucking nightmare, but that's regardless.
Don't even get me started about it.
That's different. But like, I love that idea. I also love the idea of 100,000 Collingwood members trying to get into Vic Park. I find it really funny, and like 100,000 West Coast members trying to get into Mineral Resource Reserve. Like, really funny to me. Like, that is how they could try and do it. And I would love to see them all packed in like sardines at the outside, because it'd just be really funny. But there's a lot of stadiums where it'd work. Like, Carlton obviously have a lot of fans, but they have Icon Park. They have a pretty purpose-built stadium for that whole situation.
Play there all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Richmond have Punt Road. They can do that. If you feel like your field can't quite do it, you could move to a ground that could maybe do it. Like Richmond, or no, like, a team like around here could go to Frankston kind of thing. Like, like Melbourne. Melbourne could maybe do it at Casey Fields, but that's not a lot of room again. But like those sorts of things, you don't have to play at your ground, but you play at smaller grounds, smaller levels that can kind of just squish it in kind of thing. Like, you get good atmosphere.
I've just had a brainwave.
Yep.
Instead of one round, you have to contractually obliged to playing one local game,
like one of your games as a local
at home as a local game.
I like it. North can still pick fucking WA if they want to. North can play theirs in the WA.
That's the other thing we forgot about.
Fucking North Melbourne.
Next, they want to play on Mars, and I'm not talking about Ballarat.
Selling home games to WA. I think they're playing them at like
one's at Optus and one's at some
one's at Optus, one's somewhere else, which is very funny. North might be in more shit than I originally imagined.
Just fold them.
They might be just on that edge, on that precipice. I don't know. They're very interesting, but
it got me excited with Ninja Stadium, and then they threw this at me, and I was like,
"What?
Are you okay? Like, generally, North, are you okay? Like, what's going on?
What is
Like,
going on with the money situation down in North Melbourne right now? I don't
what are
know.
you using it for?
Clarko's salary, probably.
Probably that and Jack Darling's. So they've hit the trifecta, right?
Yes.
They've gone, let's go and rename it with Ninja Stadium. They didn't have part of that, but
It happened. Yeah.
they're linked with it. So number two, they're going to WA to play home games, one in Optus and one at some local ground. So financially struggling. Three, they invest in Jack Darling.
Some interesting money decisions.
Who's their bank broker? Does he have an influence? You can't be serious. You can't actually sit there and look at what they've brought to you on a piece of paper and you look at it and go, I'm not signing off on that shit.
Especially when you look at it and like you find out that when they were doing their recruiting this year, they had two players like in line at the same time they could have picked. They had Tim Membry, who, 30, consistent, plays a lot, never really injured, has had a good year. Or Jack Darling, who hasn't been good since
2018.
I was going to say 2018, maybe. One guy you don't have to move. He doesn't have to move his family or anything of the sort. He can stay where he is. No issue with homesickness, nothing. Or Jack Darling. And they went the other way, and I was like, all right, man. Like,
Hey, as the classic hit goes from Chapel Roan, good luck, babe.
oh, we're reaching far.
Good luck, babe. Good luck, North.
Yeah, no, good luck to him, absolutely. While we're on the shower thoughts, I suppose I should do mine, which doesn't really relate, but I suppose since we're on the shower thoughts, I should probably do it.
Oh, you can throw yours in there.
My one.
Which ones are you reading?
The ones for this episode.
Right.
The idea that I have, and this was sparked to me, this came to my mind when I was watching the NBL yesterday, because one of the commentators said it. This week in the NBL, it's like Indigenous round. They've got all their Indigenous jerseys. And this commentator said it, and I was like, I said that at one point this year, and I fucking love the idea. I think that the Indigenous jumpers should, or I think the teams should be able to use the Indigenous jumpers as their away jumper. I think you should be able to have like your home, and then if you want your away jumper to just be your Indigenous jumper and you can wear that whenever you want, that should be your away jumper. I don't think it should be locked into like a 2-week period that you can wear it in kind of thing, or that, you're expected to wear it in. I think it should be wear it whenever wear it for a home game if you want to. Like, I think it should be you can have it from the start of the year all the way through. And just if they're good enough and if you like them enough, use them as your away jumper.
I have no arguments. I think it's just, if you want to get cultural and you want to do it all year, then let's not just base it on Indigenous round. If you want to treat it like it's just like it's all equal, where's my fucking Italian round? Oh, bring in Dom Cassisi to design the Guernsey.
Hey, if Port want to do that, Port versus the Dogs can be Italian round.
Why the Dogs?
Marcus Bontempelli. The man with the most Italian name that has ever existed in the AFL.
And then we'll have like special guest Christian Petrarca cooking up a storm.
Just Italian guys, just having fun,
Like I said before, I think a cook-off would be fantastic for content. But yeah, I agree in a sense. I don't know. I'm a traditionalist. Right?
Yeah, that's fair. But I think Indigenous jumpers, they're always consistently jumpers that people love. Like they are consistently people are like, fucking how good's that? So why not just do it all the time?
I agree. And I've just had a horrible thought, and I think, I don't know. Could you imagine if they made only the Indigenous players wear the Indigenous jumper
Why?
while playing?
Why?
So people could outline who's Indigenous and who isn't?
But that's then segregated.
I'm not saying that they should do it. I could just imagine that idea. How shit that be? Terrible thought, I know. That is segregation. It's terrible.
But no, that's why I think why hold the Indigenous round jumpers to just 2 rounds? Why not just use them all year round?
Does that take away the specialty of the design?
I don't
Or
think so.
are you saying every year they wear a different one for a different design?
I think like every year you can change the design of what the Indigenous one looks like. And I don't think it takes away from the specialty of it. You can still have the Indigenous round.
Does that then take away the specialty of the home jumper,
No, I don't think so.
even though you're wearing it away?
I think that's the traditional thing, the home jumper. Well, no, the home jumper you can just wear normally, obviously. I think the home jumper, because it's traditional, no one really changes their home jumper all that much. I don't know.
I know, but the Crows definitely know how to change their logo.
Good segue.
You were just like, and I was like, woof.
Yes, they do know how to change it.
A lot of backlash for the Crows about this. And obviously we've seen it. We've had our thoughts on it. I mean, I like it. I sit here and I look at the AFL website and I see the result on the weekend and resonates with me quite well. The fact that the losing score is right next to the Crows logo, so it doesn't matter how you change it.
They'll lose.
It's all the same. But in all honesty, I love a club, and this will lead into what we're going to do next. I love a club. I don't love the Crows. I'm going to get that out there. No one quote this. I love a club that can stand up and go, right, you know what? On field hasn't been great. What can we do to keep everyone still connected and involved? We're going to have a rebrand. We're going to have like an almost fresh start.
Yeah.
You know, this is a club that's been in the AFL for, 33 years or 34 years. And they've been through patches of greatness, patches of shitness, patches of grand final stance, patches of Matthew Nicks. But this is this is a club that's gone, all right, we're getting a new home at Thebarton Oval, fresh start, design the logo, and I like it. I genuinely think the Crows have done a good job. Their merch looks really good. And that's the thing with a rebrand. You've got to get the merch right. Because if you don't get the merch right, let me tell you, Jared Thomas, if you do not get the merch right, you're not selling it and you're not wearing it in public.
Dead from the start if you get the logo.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah, so I absolutely agree. I don't mind the logo. I think it's okay. I think it's better than their last one, but I think I don't put it like in the greater logos at the minute. But I respect the fact that, yeah, like you said, they're just going with a rebrand. They're saying this is a new us. All I've said is my Slack decides to make a noise. All I have said
They don't agree with you.
No, clearly not. I have always said as well that tricolors, like teams with the 3 colors, have better merch. I've said I love the Saints red, white, and black. I just think the way they can make things just looks better. So I like the fact that they've kind of lent into it a little bit. I think it's good. Like I said, I respect the fact that they're going new logo. We're gonna make it quite different, like very different to the one they have now as well. A little bit clip arty though, just a little bit like a touch MS Paint, like just a little bit. Like I could have designed that. I don't think. Yeah.
Why does it look like it's Raygun landing?
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw the Reagan landing. Very, very solid. Also, that's another thing that happened. Reagan retired, everybody, because that matters.
Oh, she retired for the Crows to rise.
Spread their wings. And they're not going to be the only team to get a new logo. We're getting one too, but I have a feeling there's like a big thing about like what the new Saints logo is going to be. I have a feeling it is going to be barely different. Like it will be the slightest of changes. Like the slightest. I don't think it's going to be much at all. And very funny, regardless. It'll be like, like the Hawks when they change theirs from like the one to the older one to the one they have kind of now. I think it's just going to be kind of like that.
I love the box hawk.
Yeah, that's what, like it's like similar kind of thing, and I just think the Saints one's going to be very, very similar, and it'll be very funny. But yes,
Gold
I
Coast as
respect that.
well.
Yes, yes, we do have Gold Coast as well. They need that. That's a team that needs a rebrand.
I was just about to ask, is there one logo in particular that a team or a club definitely needs to change? And I'm pretty sure their answer to that question is both of us saying Gold Coast.
Yeah,
Do they have the worst logo in the AFL?
yeah, yeah. Like nothing about that. I don't. I mean, like I don't love the Giants one really. It's okay.
It's just a big G.
Yeah, like those ones are just okay.
Like,
Like yeah,
imagine if Port came out and just put a fucking massive P and a little pear in the corner.
yeah. Little pair or like a tiny little lightning bolt, like just like the tiniest amount. Yeah, like I
Little
think
tiny.
those are just kind of boring. And Gold Coast, I think, is the worst. They've had it the same one ever since the beginning. That's no good. I think they should just like change everything, like literally everything. The way the jumper looks, like full on, full rebrand.
Their colours would look great in a V.
They would look great in a V. They would look
Mm-hmm.
fantastic in a V.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
give me their Clash Guernsey being yellow and then just the red.
Red V. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
and the
Even
red
the
and
other way around. Even like the red
red.
with the yellow
Get
V.
rid of the fucking blue.
Yeah, yeah. You don't need the blue. The early days blue was very funny. But yeah, like I think even if you did the red with the yellow V, both good. Good colors for the Vs. So they could do that. They need to change a lot.
Oh, they could also do a bit of a Geelong and go the stripes.
It look like
So
Ronald McDonald though.
good.
That's too Ronald McDonald for my liking. I don't think I can I don't think I can do the
Here
stripes.
comes Ben King.
See, I don't think I can do the stripes. I think I draw the line at the stripes. I like the V, but I think the stripes would make me just hungry for a cheeseburger. But I think I'm drawing the line.
They come up with their own 30 deals in 30 days. They all
Just,
play Monopoly with their memberships. I'm
uh,
McLovin it.
just like imagine the signs that you squad. Oh, that's very funny.
McSmart meal. It was a McSmart play brought to you by Malcolm Roses.
But no, they need a rebrand. They need to fix something. Gold Coast.
Yeah. Yeah. Which designer do you reckon they go to? Do they go to someone that designs, say, for example, all the animals?
We did have this conversation.
Yeah, I wanted to bring it in because I liked it.
Yeah, so we figured out that the person that designed, what did we say? We said the Richmond, the Dogs one, and the North one all definitely went to the same designer because the animals are drawn the exact same. Like they're not drawn any differently
I
at
think
all.
Collingwood's in there too.
Yeah, maybe. And then the other one we said was what the Eagles, the Hawks, the old Crows one. They're all the same one as well. They're all drawn the same. So I think the Suns, I wouldn't mind it if they went with a bit of a monogram kind of action, a bit of Carlton monogram. I don't hate it. I think you could manage. I think you could figure out something okay. Bit of GCFC.
Keep them distracted.
I think you could do an okay sort of little monogram thing with it. I think trying to put in like a big sun just wouldn't look very good.
You could put it with a big sun,
Yeah,
but
but
the sun's the background.
yeah, like you could have as a background, I suppose. I just think you need for them to do it, I think they need to make the team look more classy and more sort of historical because they don't have as much history kind of thing. Carlton's logo is very historical because it's the monogram and it's a classic. I think you could do a similar kind of thing with it, making it the Gold Coast one look like that. And it could look semi okay, I think,
Have I
personally.
done a good job?
You have done a good job. See, that would look good as a logo. Bit of a monogram. Don't hate it. So when
Um.
you ask me what designer should they go to, us. That's who they should. That's who they should go to. They should go to us. Yeah, look at that. See, perfect.
It's a fucking sun.
See,
You
and
know,
they were good.
when you look up to the sun and you see, like, it burns your eyes, but then every time you blink, you can see it, or you look into it, you can see the burning ring.
That's what you should put around it.
This is what you'll see
Yes.
every time you look at the sun.
See? Monogram. Go Gold Coast.
And this is our clip this week.
We're sorted. Bang.
Why is that too good that now I want them to do that or else it'll fail?
Whatever the new Gold Coast logo is, it's like, nah, no more.
They're also doing it at 6 a.m.
I did, I did say that.
I know the Gold Coast rises at like 4:30 and every mother and their dog are going for a run on the beach. And I get it. You live in a rich, beautiful place.
But
God forbid do I have to wake up and see a logo change.
that's the first thing I see when I wake up in the morning. There's questions.
Anyway, good luck to them. Again, to quote the great Chapel Roan, good luck, bad. I think I'm making that my thing now.
There's two of them too.
Yep.
Yep.
Where's the worst logo in the AFL?
Is in the worst, like right now? Gold Coast.
Yeah.
I think Gold Coast.
So they're basically the question and the answer to both of them are Gold Coast.
Yeah. Gold Coast need a new one, and their one now is back.
West Coast could also change theirs.
Yeah.
Sick of people. Get fucking creative, people.
Yeah, that one, it's pretty boring. Like, there's not much going on.
Oh, look at me. I have an eagle on me. Rah, rah.
That's what I'm saying. The old Crows one and this one, they just went to the same guys and just said, just do the same thing again, please.
Speaking of old, we thought since this logo change from the Crom has sparked many a discussion,
Yes.
that we'd come up with our top 5 logos that are clubs from the AFL. And what we're going to do, and this is Jared's spin on it, is that club logo has to be linked with someone that you think of when you first see the logo.
It's sort of for the viewers because we can say a thing like we'll say like this old one, and then the player will be like, I don't know what you're talking about, and then you say the name, and they're like, oh, that logo, like yeah, okay, like I got what you're trying to say, kind of thing. That's my theory behind it. It's like that's where we can connect these up together.
Let's see how many we get close. I'm firstly going to do some honorable mentions.
Mhm.
And what we did for honorable mentions was purely the fact that we could choose other sports.
Yes. Yes.
We can go one for one. How many honorable mentions have
I
you
have
got?
3. I have 3.
Oh, I have 3.
Bang. We're set.
Mine, first and foremost, and I will show you here, but I'll put it up in the edit,
Mhm.
is the old Ferrari logo. It looks like this.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
I see old merch and shit like that from, like, for example, Dad's old Ferrari gear and everything.
Mhm.
Hot.
That is really good looking. That's a classic.
Dancing horse.
That is a classic one that you get to just see and like you can see that in a minute. You don't have to put like the Ferrari on it. You don't have to put anything, and you're like, I know what that is. Like I know exactly what's coming.
That's not the winning Melbourne Cup horse. No, that's the Italian stallion Ferrari.
I like it. That's very, very good. My honorable mention. I've realized now that picking the ones that I picked in my honorable mentions, I had a theme kind of thing for the first two anyway. My one that I'm picking here is the Vancouver Grizzlies. So this is in the NBA. They obviously have now changed to the Memphis Grizzlies and got a real bad logo. The one they have now is bad, but the Vancouver Grizzlies logo looks a little something like this. And talk about character.
Wow.
You talk about character in a logo. You talk about not being boring. That, my friends,
wow,
is not being boring. The Vancouver Grizzlies logo is fantastic. I also, now that I'm saying it out loud, have a jersey on it. I'm gonna get it.
Oh, we're taking a I'm gonna have to entertain you lot.
That's fine, I got it.
Okay. Wow.
Look at that.
That is hot.
Yeah.
I love the color.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. My next one also kind of goes with this color as well. But it's like
you may as well lead into it.
The tealy kind of green, Vancouver Grizzlies, and the logo is fantastic. My other one, kind of a similar-ish color, was the logos, but it's not as sort of not as. Oh, actually, no. Now I'm looking at it again. It kind of is that. And talking about character again, it's the Detroit Pistons, so the NBA again. And this is sort of their 2000s when they weren't. It was early 2000s and they weren't quite good again, and they were sort of getting there. And they really lent into the whole Motor City thing because they're known as the Motor City, but they're also like they've tried to fit it in. So it's the Pistons logo. They've got the Pistons
Yeah.
coming out the side with the flames, and then they got the horse on fire too. Fucking sick. And the color
Yeah.
is very similar to the Vancouver Grizzlies one as well. Big fan of that one. And they weren't very good at the time when they had the logo. The logo is very good.
See, we always have a theme, I think, because we grew up in the 2000s, and I would love to hear any of the older generation that listen or watch some of their favorites, because I reckon they'd have some elite logos from back in the day. But my Ferrari one links in with F1's 2000s logo. Now it looks very digitalized and corporate. It's we're very US, I think. Back in the 2000s, when you saw this thing light up your TV at 10:30 at night to start the race, let me tell you, that's retro.
That is well done too. Well put together.
The one with the
well put together
logo. I look at that and I go, Schumacher.
Yeah.
I see mid-2000s controversy. I see refueling. Because they don't do it anymore. Because we've got to fill up the anyway, that's another podcast idea for another time.
Not right now.
Leads into my last one, which also just resonates with my 2000 sporting memories. Manchester United's logo.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Yep.
I picture that and I see, well, I can't see anymore, but the 2000s, I see that logo. I was like, success.
Actual winning games. Sir Alex Ferguson. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, the classics.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Oh, sorry, I'm just showing my t-shirt that says Vogue on it.
Classic. No, I like it. No, that's a classic one, and it's one
the logo or the t-shirt.
Both, but it's one they stick with too. I appreciate a club that just goes, "We're just going to keep the same one," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's nice too." My final one isn't really on theme with the other ones, but it's the NFL, and it's a current, and it is the Houston Texans. Right? They haven't fucked around with putting any words around anything. They're not like, we don't need to explain who we are. They've just got a big ass bull. They've made it look like the Texas flag with the star as one of the eyes. The horns represent the T. Blue, red, white. Can't be much better than that. Very classic. You don't have to put any words underneath saying Houston Texans, saying this is who we are. They've just put a bull and the star and the colors and went, you can fucking handle it. And we do, and it's very good. I really like it.
We spent 15 minutes on our honorable mentions.
Good times.
Yeah. All right, let's get straight into the top 5.
Yes.
Just going to run right through these. I'm going to do my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you can do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
Done. Number 5, Frio's 2000s logo.
Nice.
I resonate with it because I see Justin Longmuir in his long sleeve rolled up and the white sleeve on the thing. And him kicking that winning goal against St Kilda.
Yes.
Oh, amazing that I just think about it for a second. There's many others that have kicked winning goals against St Kilda. Robbie Gray. Anyway, that's my number 5. Number 4, I love Sydney's current one.
Yep.
And I resonate with it because I see Buddy.
Yeah, that's classic. Yep.
1,000 goals too. Forever remembered.
Yeah.
Hope Bud's doing well. Him and Jacinta.
Had to bring her into it.
She always gets a mention. Number 3, Hawks 2000s. In the box, we were talking about it before. Now, this one, it's funny to me. I see the logo and I picture a Friday night game against Port where they lost by 113 points. It was obviously during their shittier times. I don't think of Luke Hodge or a young Buddy Franklin or Shane Crawford. No. I picture Josh Thurgood.
That is a classic. Random footballer, you'd be like, yeah, I'll place you there. Like, that's where you're placed to me.
Yep. Long sleeve stripes when they had the long sleeves there, and he would run around. And I remember that night he got danced around Stewie Doo, and So face first into the ground and Stu G kicked one from the pocket. And it should have been goal of the year. Josh Thurgood, I'm pretty sure he's a South Australian boy too. Little facts that you know. That's what you have to do when you run an AFL podcast, Jared. You have to know little facts about all the players. They have to be insightful, in-depth, knowledgeable. Josh Thurgood.
Names that we can say.
Things and places.
Yes.
Anyway, number 2, the Lions 2000s logo. Links pretty well with number 1 too, but I'll get to that in a second. I picture Lions 2000s logo, and I see the Scott brothers.
Yep, absolutely.
It's sort of so much better than what today's is.
Yeah, today's one's boring.
Today's one is designed by the same people that designed the West Coast Eagles and the North and the Dogs and the Dockers and everyone that uses the same cheap-ass designer. Oh, sorry. Forgot about number 1. I'm not being biased.
But
Port's 2000s logo with the fist is generational.
It's very good. It is very easily one of the best.
And I picture the 2004 flag with it, obviously.
Of course.
But physically, it resonates well because everyone that does the old comparable of, if you did a last man standing in the logos competition, and obviously the mascots as well, like Power.
Yeah.
You get struck by lightning, you're dead. A human being holding a fist, having a fist hold the lightning bolt.
Strong
name logo.
Strong name logo. That is strong
name power.
Logo. That is a strong ass Eddie Ford logo right there. I like it. I deliberately kept them off my 5 because I knew you were going to talk about it. However,
I can keep going.
What I have realized is I did that so we could have 5 different ones, but I still share 2 with you anyway. So
fantastic.
My 5, and I'll get the 2 out of the way that you said first. That they're the same with me. The Fremantle 2001. I think of Heath Black. So that's where I go there, which is very fun. Heath Black, I go with. I think I've got footy cards, and Heath I have the 2006 Herald Sun footy cards, and I think Heath Black was just
I'm picturing Des Headland.
Yeah, a bit of Des Headland, a bit of Pav,
Justin Longmuir,
early Pav, it's just I don't know.
Peter Bell.
Heath Black is my one.
Sandlands.
Luke
McFarlane.
Yeah, Luke McFarlane, exactly. So I don't know.
Byron Shammer.
I like it. I think it's
Let's name 2000s Freo players.
That could be a whole episode. We could do this for a whole episode.
Okay.
I'll keep going through logos. The other one that I had the same as you was the Sydney one now. I love the Sydney one now. I think it's fucking awesome. I love the V. I love everything about it. I think of Errol. I think of the new boys. I think of all the.
Yeah.
I think of the new. I also when I think of the logo, I think of their clash jumper, the white with the red V, which is just fucking beautiful.
South
jumper.
Melbourne.
Beautiful jumper. And so I think of the new boys with that. I'm going to use my bias pick here, and I'm going with the Saints Stickman because I fucking love the Stickman. The VFL logos they had, Saints at the top, Stickman holding in the logo. He's holding the VFL logo, and that's divine. That's really good stuff. So I'm going to go the Saints Stickman with that, and then you think about it, it's Robert Harvey, it's earlier, that's Stewie Lowe, it's some big names, some
Aaron Hamill.
Yeah, some Aaron Hamill kind of days. Just some good stuff. And then we obviously transition to what we have now, and then we're changing out the one we have now. But when we transition to the one we had, or the one we now have, we weren't very good at the time. So that's fine. But the Stickman.
I think of Riley Bonner, Dougal Howard, all of these types of players that are represented. I'll think of a drawn grand final, and every time Robbie Gray sunk your hearts.
Glad it's going. We have now as well. I love the OG West Coast logo. Got the Eagles at the top with the face. They've brought it back for the retro jumper that they wore. And Harley Reid this year wearing that clash jumper with the logo in the middle. Oh man.
Was it some would say
it was pretty fucking stupid sexy, if I don't mind myself saying. Very good and a really good
That's
logo.
not even a segue.
No, it's not. We're still going with this, but very, very good. And the other one that I have, and I brought up to you the other night. And that logo, I suppose you can go any of the early days West Coast boys, but like, yeah, I just think of the ones now because I think of how good the jumper is. I think that one's more tied to the jumper than the other ones. Regardless, my last one that I can think of is the D's logo, in which they've got the D head and then they've got like the M over the top in red. I think Brad Green, I think Adam Uze, I think Russell Robertson. I just think this logo is just like it's so good. Like it's such a good logo. And it was
I
very good, much better than the one I have now as well, by the way. Hot.
What's his name? Bale?
Yes.
What's his first name? Bale. But I think of Bale. I think of that logo. That logo reminds me of the Matchstick Lady.
Yes, the redhead. Yes, exactly, the redhead matchstick lady. But like, yeah,
Yeah.
Brad Green, Adam Uze when he was rocking the long sleeves, Russell Robertson.
Mark Jamer.
Yes, see, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's these boys where I'm like, fucking, how good was that early days like? And that was before they got shit too.
Jeff White.
Yes, exactly. See, like names, beautiful names, and a good logo.
Who's there? McDonald? James McDonald?
James McDonald. And then in recent days for Melbourne, they've had a Tom and an Oscar, and both have been not good.
Yeah, but they don't resonate with the Matchstick Lady. Although they both burnt their seasons.
And their careers, probably. But that's fine.
Sounds like a them problem.
But no, those were our ones. We had other people obviously mentioned. We were speaking about this before.
Well, that leads us into the question, doesn't it?
Yeah, the question we had was what are the best logos in AFL history? And before we get into what people picked, I just want to mention this because it's really funny to me. And you brought it up before this episode, and I just think it's really, really funny. Someone commented, "Who knows? Purely subjective."
Hey, Ian, I hope you do listen because I really want you to know that this is a very great comment. And we wanted to shout you out because you're absolutely right. It's probably the best, it's the best comment you could possibly put because you're right. Who knows? It's purely subjective. What's your thoughts?
And
I really want to know.
Also, Ian, that's the fucking point of the question. Is that we would like to know people's opinions on this.
Yeah, but he's saying his opinion's purely subjective, so who knows?
His bio on Twitter is an old fossil, and I'm like, really? That's so Ian.
Ian Honeybone. Not the sweetest.
I'm going to spend a little while after this going through his tweets because I've already just seen a couple of them. They're very funny. With some of the answers we got. So I love the retro tigers one, which I put in there, which is the circle tiger, as you called it the other day, which is beautiful. That is a good example of making an animal look good in a logo because they made that shit detailed and it is good. Good logo. And they also said the port one because obviously it is a fantastic one. Fight the power. And then we had another one as well on Twitter. We had another one on Twitter as well. Someone said the NRL logos are top notch, and then better than sort of the AFL ones. And I don't disagree per se. I like a few of them. Storm have a very similar vibe to the Power one, in which it's a person holding the lightning. So similar vibes there. I think they're pretty good. The NRL ones. I like the Sharks one. I like the font they use for the Sharks one.
Yeah, I like it gives me Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, literally, it's Charlie's Angels model. It is fucking.
It's Cronulla's Angels.
Yeah, it's Cronulla's Angels, and it's beautiful. I like that logo a lot, the Sharks one. And then they've got some classic ones. The Bulldogs one is always good because it reminds me of the VFL logos, where it's just like Bulldogs, and then it's just a big fucking thing in the middle.
I love the South Sydney Rabbitohs one because it literally looks like it was just drawn in clip art.
They're just like, fuck it, put a bunny.
They're not even hiding it, and it looks like it's just. I don't know. Who framed Roger Rabbit?
Very good. And then
Sea Eagles is good too.
Sea Eagles is good, and the St. George Illawarra Dragons one is really nice because of the way they've done like the silhouette at the back of the knight riding the horse and then the dragon on the front. They've got everything they needed to and put it in the one.
Yeah.
And it's very classic. It's a very classic logo, and I hope they never get rid of it because it's really cool.
Sydney Roosters have met up with the West Coast Sea Eagles and North Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs logos.
And said, fuck it, we're all doing the same thing. You also had one from your mate if you want to run through the one that your mate said as well.
I would, but I don't have the screenshot. So do you mind doing it?
NBA said the Hawks, which if I'm going to try and think of one that if someone's listening, it'd be a Dikembe Mutombo Hawks logo, which is pretty good. They have the Grizzlies one, which I said, and they have the Raptors one. And the Raptors one holds a very special place in my heart. And I also have a jersey for that, so I'm going to bring that back.
The mate we're talking about, his name's Mitchy Todd. He loves his gear. That's purely subjective of what type of gear, but you know.
And this jersey now that I'm looking at it, realized it's going very badly. I'm trying to go past it because the 16-year-olds can't know about that. The Raptors logo that he's talking about. When they made it, Jurassic Park had only just come out, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna go big here," and they made a logo that looks like this.
What the?
That is the Toronto Raptors logo, and I fucking love it. Vince Carter on the back, everybody. It's an incredible logo. And I love that he picked it because it's one of my favorite logos.
Well done, Mitchy.
Goodness me.
Oh, fuck this shit, man. What else did Dimwit say?
And then for the AFL, he just said Adelaide, which I'm assuming means the new one. And then he said Brisbane, which I don't know.
I generally just think he's opened up the AFL app and seen the first two and ticked them.
Well, yeah, that'll do.
That would be something he would do. Anyway, go follow Mitchy. If you need a PT, he's a great PT. So,
Shout outs.
good lad. So, yeah, shout out to him. Hit him up on Instagram.
I'm sure he'd love it.
No, he probably would, to be honest.
Hmm.
You could use it. But I guess you walking in there would be far too stupid sexy.
Yeah, I was waiting to say it. He's gonna go as he smokes his pen.
Iron life, man. Can't say that anymore.
You will get banned. Those 16-year-olds that aren't watching right now will be shocked.
You're a 16-year-old and you're watching this right now. This may very well be one of the last times you'll ever know the reference stupid sexy.
They probably haven't even seen the Simpsons episode that it came from.
No, that episode is older than you.
By a long way.
Just talk, Homer, please.
Stupid sexy AFL players.
All right, stupid sexy time, Jared.
Yes.
Never get... I've lost it. There's something about saying stupid sexy time and the pause.
Adds a lot.
I have websites for that.
Adds depth, adds character.
Please don't ever say depth.
Just be glad I didn't say girth.
You just said it.
We always get to this point in the episode and it just starts
We bottled it up.
we need it. It's fine. We're good.
Just like the frozen eggs. You just can't shelve us. Can't shelve us forever.
We'll always manage to find our way to the front.
Yeah, I say the best chance to take a mark is always at the front of the pack. So,
Except if you play markers up.
or you have me as a defender who's absolutely gonna. I can't say. I was gonna say absolutely fist the shit out of it.
I thought you were going to say pound it, which I don't know which would have been better.
I'll take the ball, pound town, whatever. Anyway, do you have a super sexy or what?
I do have a shoot sexy this week. And I'm big on my props today. My floor is now littered with things, but I have another prop for this one. On the weekend, and by on the
You might as
weekend,
well have a fringe act.
well, on the weekend, I mean last night, I witnessed one of the great NBL performances of all time from one 36-year-old man for Melbourne United that wears number 43 on his back. And for those that watch the NBL, for those that know the NBL, this guy, let's say he's not exactly loved by a lot of people due to his antics on the court of flopping and antics. And so he flops a little bit. But even last night, even his biggest haters, the people that absolutely despise him the most, could not help but watch this guy fucking explode for 46 points. And he had 25 in the third quarter and 6 threes in the third quarter. That is my man, Chris Golding. This is a very old jumper, by the way. But my man, Chris Golding, has been doing it for a very long time. The last time he dropped points as high as this, he dropped 50 points, and that was when Melbourne were the Melbourne Tigers. And that is how long he has been playing in the NBL for, and that he can drop 50 when they were the Melbourne Tigers, a team that has not existed for a long time, and when Andrew Gaze was coaching them, she hasn't coached in a long time. So now, Chris Golding, you are my stupid sexy of the week. You beautiful, beautiful man. You could not do no wrong last night, and it was special.
I'm in the dark. There we go.
We're on the move.
I know. The first thing that Jared told me was purely the fact that I have to go eat 2:30 in the morning, and the first thing I'm told is to watch Chris Golding's highlights.
To be fair, I said that a lot earlier, but yes.
Remember how you said that I'm always having a thing for older men?
Yeah, this is definitely me going that way, I can imagine.
Yeah, you always got to have an obscure performance somewhere, I guess. Anywho, this little battery that I have here is my prop for this.
Okay.
And it comes from a performance that didn't happen on the weekend, but it happened last weekend. And I cannot get it out of my mind. And I've talked to people about it. And even the people that aren't fully invested in the sport talking about this performance. I'm talking about Formula One's Max Verstappen winning from 17th on the grid last week. And it's arguably the greatest drive I've ever seen. In fact, it was stupid sexy. He did it in the wet and it made me wet. Like, honestly, the way he went was truly, it was Energizer Max. Energized to the max.
I was wondering where the battery was going to come into play. That's why that
Energizer Max.
It flew.
That's what he saw. Everyone was just. I've lost the plot. But anyway, that is my stupid sexy performance.
Yes.
Max Verstappen, not really stupid sexy, looks a bit like Sid from Ice Age, but that's perfect.
Leprosy. Absolutely. Very, very good performance.
Leprosy.
Again, I don't know much. I know a little bit more about the F1 now than I did, but even I know. And that was my version of the Chris Golding thing. It was I woke up Monday, or we were talking Monday, and you were like, fucking Max Verstappen. And I was like, all right.
That was the fucking greatest thing I've seen. I can't believe it. Someone winning from 17th. And in the wet, when it comes to Formula One, it's purely just there's no car
skill
advantage. No, it's all skill.
Yeah. No car.
It's all skill. It's all guts. It's all balls. You're gonna have the big cojones when you got in the wet.
Max has balls. Max Verstappen's balls are fantastic.
Somebody play the Dutch national anthem. It's not the Dutch
I know
national
it's not the
anthem.
national anthem, but I know it's what they sing.
Do, 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 do. Max Verstappen. Anyway. So that's been now. Oh, do you know the thing we haven't talked about that's actually on here?
Hmm.
We'll do it just quickly. We talked about the final, talked about the logo, we've talked about shower thoughts on local footy, we've talked about everyone's favourite logos, our favourite logos. Let's talk about footy that's coming next year.
Yes. The fixture.
Just before we finish up, we'll do it just quickly because I know it's not finalised or anything. By the time this comes out, it'll either be finalised or people have seen it anyway.
Yep.
The gather round fixture. I'm going to run it through for you quickly. So this is a potential fixture for Adelaide Oval next year between the 10th and the 13th of April. It will kick us off with Adelaide versus Geelong in their primetime slot. Friday night will be Collingwood versus Sydney at the Adelaide Oval. Epic match, that one. Then on Saturday, it'll be down to Barossa Valley where the wine-loving, crushed-graped, licking people will be drinking to North Melbourne versus Gold Coast.
Cheers to that, everybody.
Now, some people will say that that game will be watched by 13 people. Disagree, because it's the perfect type of game to go there and be like, I'm going to have 16 bottles of wine.
Let's day drink and fucking
Yeah. Then if you want, you can come back to the Adelaide Oval and watch the fucking worst game of football against Carlton and West Coast. The Dogs and the Lions will follow at the Adelaide Oval after that, and then Essendon and Melbourne to finish it off. 3 games in a row at the Adelaide Oval. That ground, if it's wet, oh
They're
boy.
gonna get fucked on.
Mm-hmm. And then the next day on the Sunday, we see Richmond Fremantle be playing also down at the Barossa. So again, if you want to get pissed, you can watch the Shire Balkan Cup. St Kilda versus GWS will be at Norwood Oval,
The
which
Jack Steel Cup.
yep. And then fighting for Ken's playing at the Adelaide Oval to finish off gather round will be Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn. I've got 2 questions for you. One, are you coming next year?
Oh, now? Yep. I thought you were going to give me both at the same time. I am planning on going. That is the plan as of right now. Obviously, we still are figuring out what the ticket situations are, but planning on it, absolutely.
2, that's good to know because then we can link up and do our ticket things, and then
Yes.
even though our games are like
The
crossing
same
over.
time. At the same time in a different
It's all right. See you at half time at Port Hawks.
Exactly. Yep.
Whilst I'm back in. And then my second question to you is, in 60 seconds, what are your thoughts on the gather round fixture?
3 games at Adelaide Oval in one day is ridiculous. Don't do that. like that is bad. Put the Port game, and also don't put the Port game as the last game of the round either. I think could have put like one of the Saturday night games that you've got as the last Sunday one, and you would have had people go to the Adelaide Oval. I think they're doing it so that people stay for the whole weekend. I think that's what the plan is. You've got Adelaide playing Friday, you got Port Sunday. Like, I think like it's kind of trying to. I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do.
I don't think it is, because if you're putting Adelaide at the start and then Port Adelaide at the end, the only people really staying are Hawthorn.
Yeah. So yeah, and that yeah. Okay. So that's the opposite of what I'm saying. Then I don't know why they're doing it, because you'd think, like, obviously the first year that gather round was the thing. The last game was Saints Collingwood kind of thing. So they were trying to keep some Victorians around. Obviously Collingwood, you want them to be there the whole weekend, so you put them on the Sunday kind of thing. I'm confused. The thing that really does confuse me is the Adelaide Oval thing, because I don't know why they're trying to fuck with the ground, especially if it rains even slightly. Those Sunday games, that Sunday game's going to be a fucking shit show.
You could have taken away the Carlton West Coast aspect of that. You could have played that back at Marvel. No one would give a shit really about that game.
Carlton's going to win by fucking 70 and Charlie's going to kick another 9. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, like who gives a stuff? Put them wherever. You could put them second game at Norwood, play them at Golden Grove. I don't know. Wherever. They keep dropping the ball on the Saturday games. I know they can't put the Port Adelaide game because the attendance doesn't work, or the Adelaide game, whatever. But like, you could put Collingwood Sydney on the Saturday night, put the Port game on the Friday night, and throw in the Dogs versus Lions at the back end. By the end of it, by Sunday, I don't think you have any game you can put there. You don't have the attraction. What they've done with Port Hawthorn is the fact that everyone's seen the semi-final and they've
made it.
Everyone has to see Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn.
They did that last year with Collingwood Hawthorn as well, with the whole Ginnivan thing. So yeah.
So basically, Port Hawthorn, Collingwood Hawthorn the year before, whatever Ginnivan is playing, He's pissing clubs off. And it's ironic the fact that he played Port Adelaide from Wish last year and now is playing Port Adelaide again.
Needed to do it again. And needs to. I mean, last year's game ended up being good from memory. I think it was a good game in the end.
It was a goal difference.
Yeah, so
we could get a thing again, but I think the best thing about it as well is that regardless after this, Hawthorn still have to get on the plane afterwards and leave. Zoom, zoom.
Ken can fucking do plane.
Take Ken with you.
He can do plane 2.0. It's also ballsy to think that Ken is going to be there by round 5.
Oh no, he'll be there by round 5. We'll be 4-0.
Sorry, I meant round 5, 2034, when he's still just hanging on for dear life.
We haven't won a premiership by 2034. I'm going to give Ken hair.
I don't know what kind of insult that is.
I don't know.
But yeah.
Anyway, gather around, get your tickets when they go on sale, and we'll probably see you all there.
Yeah.
Probably have a live glass table show.
Probably.
In a bigger room this time.
Yes, absolutely.
Probably my room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's it.
Yeah, long episode, I think, but plenty to talk about.
That's okay.
Plenty to talk about. A lot of things happening in the world.
If you're, there is a lot of things happening in the world. Thanks for watching, everyone. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the episode. Enjoy the content. Subscribe, like, all that razzle dazzle. And if you're 16, I'm so sorry.
If you're still here when you're 16, though, impressive, to be honest.
To anyone that's lasted this long, it's impressive, let alone you.
Hold on. Thanks for being here.
We checked out around about 45 minutes ago.
We've been on cruise control ever since, but that's fine. We're rolling.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go catch my Ken plane now.
We'll see you guys soon.
Yeah.